In the 1990s, the Federal Bureau of Investigation made a statement that sounded less like reality and more like science fiction. U.S. authorities claimed that a single individual had the capability to disrupt national telephone networks, infiltrate the internal systems of major corporations, and pose a serious threat to the technological infrastructure of the country. This person did not carry weapons, did not belong to any extremist group, and had never harmed anyone physically. Yet he was treated as a national security threat. His name was Kevin Mitnick, and the media would eventually label him the most dangerous hacker in the history of the United States. Kevin Mitnick was born in 1963 in Los Angeles. His childhood was not defined by violence or poverty, but by isolation. His parents separated early, and he spent much of his time alone. While other children were distracted by games and social life, Kevin became an observer. He watched how adults spoke, how institutions operated, and how authority was established. Even at a young age, he noticed something subtle but powerful. The world functioned according to rules, and most people followed those rules without ever questioning them. He realized that buses followed schedules, organizations followed procedures, and people followed instructions as long as those instructions sounded official enough. Authority, he learned, did not come from strength, but from confidence. This realization would later become the foundation of everything he did. At the age of 12, Kevin carried out what he would later describe as his first hack. He did not break into a building or steal anything tangible. Instead, he studied the public transportation system in Los Angeles and learned how it worked well enough to ride for free. It was not an act of rebellion or greed, it was curiosity. That moment taught him a lesson that would shape his entire life. Once you understand a system deeply enough, it stops being closed. Not because it is poorly built, but because it was built by humans. As a teenager, Mitnick became fascinated with telephone systems. Long before the internet connected the world, phone networks were the backbone of national communication.
Two more great reasons to come to Highland Superstores by Saturday. 1. This Nokia Mobera portable cellular phone is just $5.95. 2. You can impress your friends by telling them it costs a lot more.
He began calling employees at companies, calmly introducing himself as someone from technical support or system administration. He spoke clearly, confidently, and without hesitation. That alone was often enough for people to give him passwords, internal codes, and access to restricted systems. Through these experiences, Mitnick understood something that most organizations failed to recognize. The weakest point in any security system is not the technology, but the human being operating it. This method would later be known as social engineering, but at the time, few people had the vocabulary to describe what he was doing.
Kevin Mitnick. Kevin Mitnick.
Kevin Mitnick.
Kevin David Mitnick.
Kevin Mitnick was gaining unauthorized access to the systems of major telecommunications and technology companies. He explored proprietary software, internal documentation, and source code that was never meant to be seen by outsiders. Importantly, he did not steal money, destroy data, or sell information. His motivation was understanding. He wanted to see how the systems that powered modern society truly worked from the inside. For corporations, however, intent mattered less than perception. The idea that someone could quietly enter their most protected environments without permission created fear. As Mitnick's reputation grew, so did the anxiety surrounding his name. By the 1990s, he had become a symbol of everything corporations and governments feared about technology. Newspapers published dramatic headlines claiming he could shut down entire cities, access government databases, or even take control of military systems. Many of these claims were exaggerated, but fear does not require accuracy to spread. The FBI launched a nationwide manhunt, treating Mitnick as a high-priority target. In response, he disappeared.
What did you get at the Bell Phone Center store?
I got call waiting, so now when I call home, I get home, and not a busy signal.
I got touch tone. Now it's easier to let my fingers do the walking.
What's for you at the Bell Phone Center? Ways to make your phone do more than ever before. Phones you can plug in yourself and save. And a whole lot more.
And what did you get?
4 toasters, 3 blenders, 2 fondue pots, and something that we'll use every day.
In 1995, the pursuit finally ended. Kevin Mitnick was arrested, not through advanced surveillance or technical tracking, but through another person. A fellow hacker cooperated with law enforcement, and that human connection was enough to bring him down. He was held in solitary confinement and prohibited from using computers or communication devices. For nearly 5 years, he remained imprisoned, much of that time in isolation, not for violence or destruction, but for what he knew. When he was finally released, Kevin Mitnick became a cybersecurity consultant, advising major corporations, governments, and organizations on how to protect themselves from the same techniques he once used. He wrote books, spoke at conferences, and educated companies about the dangers of ignoring the human factor in security. His message was simple but uncomfortable. Technology rarely fails on its own. People do.